productivity, it ebbs and flows, right? I think we all know that. And even with the most savvy level of manipulation of brain states, productivity can ebb and flow. I mean, you could be in a spiritual ebb and, have the brain chemistry manipulated to the point where you feel great enough to function at various capacities or targeted ones. If you're building stacks for specific tasks, which you should be definitely doing when it comes to nootropics, but still you can be in a spiritual ebb, in which case you need not to engage in the thing that you were, using nootropics for, and you need to do something else to get your brain kind of jarred and back in the place where it needs to be. Now, not everyone has the liberty of doing that, unfortunately, which sucks, definitely, for some people. It blows. You want to have the control over your time and your schedule to be able to, instead of having to be forced to do work that you really don't want to do and your brain is really not up to, you want to be able to go and work out if that's what needs to happen to get your brain in a great place. I just could not sit in front of my laptop this morning and do the work that I had planned for myself. I'm going to, and I got maybe 25% of it done, but there was this point at which I was just running into a plateau, even under the influence of a nootropic stack that was actually targeted for this task. It's a spiritual ebb, right? It's an otherwise physiological necessity for me to go and move my body. And I'm going to park my car and I'm going to go on a big, long, intense walk. It's every single thing at your disposal you want to be able to use to foster the type of productivity that you need at the time. Do this. Yeah, look, I just think it's important to know, what kind of things will get you out of sort of maybe a spiritually stagnant place in terms of productivity, and when you're ebbing, in your ebb and flow cycle. I mean, maybe there's some stuff that I was thinking about when I woke up this morning that caused that. You never know with that sort of spiritual ebb. So, walking is a great way to just kind of clear it out for me. Maybe this should have just been titled, maybe it is titled, that what to do when nootropics don't work, right? Because there certainly can come a time where even if you're being super surgical in the nootropic that you're formulating, and it's supposed to help you to function in a particular way, like the stuff that you're going to do, maybe it's some data crunching or something to do, right? I mean, there are certainly stacks for that. That would sort of help put you in a place to be able to do that easier. You have a lot of tools at your disposal to get your brain functioning the way that it needs to function for certain things, and not just nootropics. And sometimes nootropics just may not do what you need them to do. It's just rad to have working out at your disposal. Just that option is always there for you. Unless it's snowing, in which case you could still probably figure out a way. I mean, last year, this past winter was actually really terrible in Pittsburgh. We had a lot of snow. It was just continuous snow for 2-3 months straight. And in that time period, I had to get out. I went and strapped on boots and walked around my neighborhood and walked around Pittsburgh in the snow. I didn't care. I had to do it. I mean, 85 to 90% of the time, a targeted nootropic stack is going to do the trick for you, right? But that other 10 to 15% where it does not, you've got to get your body moving or find some other strategy. I mean, maybe for you it's art. Maybe you need to pull out a canvas and start painting, even if you're going to throw it away. It doesn't matter, right? The whole objective is to gear your brain into a different place for then you to be able to reapproach your task and want to do it. On another note, I just want to quick share with you guys that I've been in Pittsburgh for 8 months or something, I think. And, I moved here in October, really November is when I first kind of started living here. And, the weather wasn't great then. And so then we had the winter, which was pretty bad. And I got out, but not as much obviously as the spring and so far in the summer. And I gotta say, so far, I really, really love this city. I came from a much smaller area on the East Coast, at least that's where I lived previously, in a couple cities. One was called Bethlehem and the other Easton. I mean, these are micro cities, right? And I didn't even like them. A lot of pretentiousness. I gotta say, like, this city has a camaraderie of sorts that reminds me of the military, frankly. Like, it's just this connectivity between people that if like you're in the clique and you live in Pittsburgh, like you just know. You have this sort of feeling of connection with everyone else and like repping the city, like you rep this city with everything you have. You support each other. It's a camaraderie and a feeling of connection between people that is rare to find. You don't find that often. And just yesterday, I saw what was definitely the best fireworks display of my life. This city knows how to put fireworks on. In fact, it's like one of the things they really like emphasize. In the Three Rivers here, they took this like boat. It was like it looked like an aircraft like landing carrier joint, like, but smaller. And that's where they launched fireworks from. And it was like sitting in the middle of Three Rivers. It was so dope. The point really is to find something, right? And yeah, like you kind of have to be creative in those moments where you're like, shit, I'm ebbing, and you know, a nootropic stack isn't really helping me to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Like, what else can I do? It's really easy to put yourself in, to pigeonhole yourself really into like this little kind of limited spot of some of the stuff that you normally do, and then thus be like, well, I really don't even know what I could do to get me out of this place where I'm really not kind of vibing and I need to be more productive. Exercise is a huge one, you know, and maybe there's somewhere in your neighborhood or in your city or in your town that you haven't explored, that you sort of think to yourself, well, you know, the inertia that's going to take for me to get up and go travel there, like I don't feel like doing that. But what you don't realize is that when you get there and do it, it's that whole period of taking yourself from, I'm not really motivated, to, okay, I'm gonna go do this, that wakes up the productivity that probably will benefit you and that you ultimately needed. I parked on like, I don't know, floor 7. This is a good workout, dude. Just the steps. On 4. 4 steps. You've got to get good at identifying stuff that can change your state, like from where you're at. Like walking is one of them. Meditation is another. Like lifting weights is another. I don't know. Like I said before, like painting is another. Getting on your bike and riding like a half a mile is another. I don't know. Going into a dark space. Sometimes like I'll go into dark places purposefully to kind of get my brain revved up. And like whatever ends up happening, it's changing my state and putting me in a different place where then I can go reapproach what I was doing with a different brain, more of a conquer type brain. Oh, that was a good walk. So sometimes that's all, right? It's just a matter of changing your brain. You're in an ebb, right? An ebb is kind of like you're stuck. You know, you're feeling a little stagnant. So like you've got to get yourself out of that. I hope that's been a useful post because I know it helps me to understand like just the tools that I need to get out of certain states to be able to facilitate other states to be productive. If you like the channel, listen, we pump out content all day long over here, at least 3 or 4 videos a week, usually more, live streams galore, an incredible faucet of nootropics content, testosterone enhancing content, male performance enhancing content, achievement content, getting what you want in life content, right? Having that conquer energy type of content, all of that stuff. So please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified of everything new that we do because there is so much more content to come, my friends. If you'd like to support us, you guys know the routine. LiveCortex.com is where we have our roster of products targeted toward male performance. We've got the Cortex Nootropic Stack. I mean, this thing lights up the brain. Motivation, mental energy, verbal fluency, the will to work in a capsule. I mean, the type of stimulated energy that you get from Cortex is it's kind of like an Adderall alternative, right? I mean, for a lot of folks, it's comparable to modafinil, is insane. Go buy a bottle at livecortex.com because that stuff alone will get your brain revved up. If you'd like to have me consult you on any of the topics that we typically talk about, whether it's testosterone, designing your nootropic stack, just getting answers to certain questions that you may have. I mean, you may be puzzled at something that I can help you get unstuck from, right? And I can give you direction, right? A solid set
of tactical stuff that you've got to execute. You just need the guidance to get there. Go book a consulting call with me. Now we've got the option to do 25-minute calls, an hour calls, regimen formulation calls, hosts of other things. Check them out at the menu on the consulting tab at livecortex.com. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat with you uber soon, my friends. Uber soon.